Good evening. I am Janie Daly. I am a nurse, but I'm also an intuitive life coach. And in that, like a nurse, with the intuitive life coach, you wear a lot of hats too. Hello, Miss Renee and Miss Jeannie. Hello. Oh, good. I'm so glad that you are here, Miss Renee. So glad. Hello, I knew what you meant. So yeah, I like to start a little bit early so people can see that I'm on. I didn't forget or sleep through or something like that. But also you guys recommend this channel. And oh my gosh, I'm gonna actually share Renee walking in their shoes. It's Renee and her best friend are doing a YouTube, and they have cerebral palsy. So, and it's really good. So I definitely will post that in my link. Hello, Miss Dawn. I know. If you guys know how to block, knock yourselves out. I mean, it was kind of good in one way because, when he's talking about not allowed to talk about DV, I thought he meant domestic violence, but I think he meant divorce. It's like, what? If that were the case, people wouldn't be talking at all. I shouldn't say it that way, because this is going to be a fun show. This is going to be fun, you guys. Well, it's going to be, it's funny. Everybody who draws together are very much alike. Like people hang together. And I see that even with you gals that are here. I see that similarity. So this is going to be nice. Jeannie, is it okay if I talk about your situation? I just kind of outed you, but I won't talk about it now since I did, if it's okay. Because I feel like Jeannie is a true inspiration. She's amazing. So I'm hoping she's probably trying to find the keyboard. I love her. To type, yeah, I think she will. Go for it. Thank you. I thought so. Okay, so you guys, well, we're going to be talking about happy VD. Happy Valentine's Day. Careful, YouTube. Calm down. It's Valentine's Day. A little early, too. But let's talk about the generics, get it over with. So welcome to everybody that's here and for people who are watching the rewatch. So, and also please subscribe, like, and share. Also let me know where everybody's from, because that's really interesting too. But also place a heart in the messages, okay? Place a heart, because I want everybody who is looking for love to find love. And I'm putting that out there. You guys probably didn't know this, but I'm putting that out there. You don't have to accept it if you don't want it. But if you would like to find a mate, let's put it out there that everybody here finds one and finds a good mate, their mate, their soulmate. But we'll get into soulmates. We'll get into all that. But remember too, if you have questions, because that's what I'm starting to do. I'm starting to actually read email questions or text message. You just send me your questions and I will answer it. I will ask your permission to use your story, and I won't out you. I won't say anything without your permission. Please know that. Please know that. Also, if you want a video session with me, because I do the video sessions, send me an email to jdaily@gmail.com or to my text message, my phone. Okay, so we got a lot to talk about, and I am going to start here. Okay. It's always about love. And the ladies that I mention, wonderful women. Like you guys, when I talk about this, wonderful, wonderful women. They're beautiful. They're kind. They're funny as can be. But the biggest thing is their beauty's important. And they are beautiful. Trust me when I tell you that. But kindness is key. Kindness is everything. To be a good soul, a beautiful soul, is more important than anything. Because you guys know this. I had seen it throughout my whole life. You'll have somebody who, and maybe you guys, you started dating, and I'm speaking for the women right now, but let's say that you meet a heterosexual woman. I'm speaking on a heterosexual woman right now. You have to be so specific anymore. Jeez, it's confusing. But anyway, so if you meet a guy and you really like him, but you're like, this is, and I'm going to tell you too, a lot of women have checklists. Throw it out. Throw it out. If you're going to not date somebody because they are short, that's a problem. I mean, it's kind of like you wouldn't want to be checklist. I wouldn't want somebody to come up to me and go, "Oh, well, here I have a checklist. You mark off 5 things," and I'd be, let me mark off more than 5. Let me burn it up, because that's insulting. I don't know. To me, I just think it's insulting. I just feel like, when you talk to somebody. Well, this is the point I was making before. You meet somebody, and you guys have all seen, if you haven't experienced it yourself, where your friend is with somebody who you don't consider good looking. But to her, he's gorgeous. When you fall in love with someone, you find that person gorgeous because the two souls connect. And I'll tell you, everything is better when the two souls connect. But you guys, we got to talk about this kind of stuff, though. First of all, if you meet somebody, now let me say this part first, because society says the complete opposite, and it's not true. If you meet a man, okay, and he says to you, well, because you always ask these dating people, oh, don't talk about, that's not true. If you don't ask, then how would you know? And and I can tell you right now what I'm going to say tonight too, they're red flags. With the guy who, when you meet somebody and you really love who they are the best looking person to you. But there's a huge, this is what I was going to tell you. The biggest thing, again, society says it's not true. Okay, I dated a guy. No, I didn't date him. I was on a first date with him. And I said, so, what was your last relationship? He is, I was married. I was married for like 17 years. And I go, oh, yeah, couldn't take her anymore. Okay, did you guys have kids? Yeah, I had 2 kids, 2 sons. Oh, okay, that's good. Yeah. But I'm the one that worked. She ain't do nothing. Right there for the English, I was ready to see. That's not nice. That's not nice. No, but it's like, she ain't do nothing. I'm the one that, I made all the money in the house. I worked my ass off, and all she did was spend. So, and I'm just listening to how wonderful of a man he is. So I finally said to him, so didn't she do anything good? Well, I mean, in the beginning, she did something. She was okay in the beginning, but no, she was lazy, and she would never want to have sex with me, he says. So it just so happened that I ended up meeting his ex-wife. I ended up meeting the ex-wife. The ex-wife told me that he didn't want her to work. He didn't want her to work. He wanted her to stay home and raise the kids so they could have good kids, which apparently they do have good kids. So she did a good job with that. But he didn't have to do anything because he felt his job was to go to work to make money. And then he'd come back home, he'd sit in a chair, expect to be waited on, expect her to bring him beers. And then he'd fall asleep in the chair and then get up the next morning, take a shower to go to work again. So I can honestly tell you, that's not my dream kind of man. And I'm hoping you guys would agree with me. Now, if I had dated that guy and he said to me, well, she and I, we were young when we met, and we thought we fell in love, but we didn't. But I'll always love and respect her because we had beautiful kids and she did a good job with our kids because she was the main person who raised them. I got with him in a heartbeat. He's a gem. He's a gem. That's what you look for. Always ask. Again, these dating people tell you don't ask. That's not true. That's ridiculous. That's like driving down the street, seeing a movie theater and go, oh, you know what? I'm not going to look and see what movie's playing. I'm just going to go in and take a chance. That's stupid. That's not even smart. And you have to be safe too. You have to be safe. Anyway, so yes. So if a guy tells you good things, that's a good thing. Lots of times, I'll tell you this, if you have people that are fighting and and you're his sounding board and he's telling you how she's this, she's that, she just wants all my money, she gets enough in child support, blah, 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 run. Because here's the other thing. There's a very fine line between love and hate. So the guy who I mentioned that I would be like, wow, that's great, because he's giving respect to his wife, then that means he's going to give respect to me. But the other one who gives no respect, he's going to do the same thing to you. Guaranteed. You'll be the next one waiting on him, giving him his beers. So please talk. Please ask questions. Please. I'm begging you guys. And of course, I can help you with this. I can definitely help you with this. I will tell you this. In my sessions also, I am guided by God. I am guided by your divine family as well. And you have to learn lessons. And I will always see good things in people because everybody has some good and everybody has some not so good. But sometimes, like if I'm seeing somebody for you, the other side and I may know that that's not really going to be your person. But you've got a lesson to learn with this person, and he's actually an assignment for you. So, yes, trust me, I've had so many assignments and I get tired of having assignments. And I was like, you know what? Because it's a lot. You guys know that. All right. So I'm going to talk about a situation that I ran into the other day. Okay, perfect. Oh, thanks, Arnie. How are you? Okay. The situation that I ran into the other day, the woman is beautiful. She's a really good mom. She's wonderful with animals. I don't know, like most people would say, she's the perfect woman. And I know nobody's perfect. I get that. But I'm just saying, if I knew somebody that I feel she would really click with, I would totally set her up. So, and she's going through a divorce and tried to make it work. She definitely tried to make the marriage work. But, sometimes with addiction, you can't make somebody stop. You can't make them control their addiction. You just can't. I mean, because you have to get to a point in your life, especially with kids. But if you're sitting there and somebody with, let's say, alcohol issues, that's ugly. I grew up with an alcoholic dad. It's not a good scene. And I had to push him away finally because I didn't want my kids to see it. Because they were seeing stuff like too much. And it's like, no, I'm not doing that to them. That was enough for me to see. So she did that. She put up with that and then gave him so many chances. Ladies and men, number one rule when you're in a relationship, no threats. Do not make a threat. Don't. I'm telling you, and I'm saying this for men and for women. It's like with your kids. I hope you don't do that with your kids. I hope with your kids, when they do something, I don't know if you're the kind of mom that's just like, look, I'm not going to tell you 3 times. I'm telling you right now. And if you do it again, you're going to have something taken away or whatever. And some people say you get 3 tries. Whatever, just have something. and stick to it. But you have to do it with your mate as well. Don't idle threats. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Because then Jeannie, as Jeannie knows, Jeannie was in a marriage 35 years. 35. And in the beginning, they got along well, and they both liked to party a lot. And then, they both were getting older, started to, clean up their lives, whatever. But he started with some addictive behavior, and she'd say to him, I can't put up with this. I can't deal with this. And she would tell him that, if he doesn't stop, she's going to leave. Well, she didn't leave. And this was going on and on and on. He would swear to her too, oh, I promise I'm going to change. I promise I'm going to change. And he didn't. So finally, at 77, she told him one more time, you do this again, I'm out of here. I'm getting the house ready. I found the realtor. He's just waiting for my call. And on that, he comes back. He's still doing the same thing. And he's like, well, I'm sorry. And she's like, no. She's like, no, I'm sorry because you have completely ruined our marriage. And then with that, she left him. She left. She left at 77 years old. You have to have faith. And then when she left, everything, oh my gosh, everything worked out for her. Everything. Because a lot of women are like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be homeless. Don't think about the bad stuff all the time. But anyway, so I didn't mean to hop over to Jeannie's stuff. Okay, so this beautiful young woman, she ran into somebody from childhood. And I think they were crushing. I don't know. I think they were crushing then. I don't know if they dated. I don't remember if they dated or not. But anyway, apparently they were both different. And, he was thinking that maybe men and ladies too, men feel self-conscious too. It's not just the women who feel self-conscious. Guys feel it too. We didn't date. Okay, so yes, okay. So apparently there was crushing in the past, no dating. But now they both have the opportunity to date. But, apparently I feel like he's got some self-esteem issues. She does too. Everybody does. But then, what she's being told is, oh, I'm just so afraid of getting hurt. You guys, the number two rule is, that is so insulting. That is so insulting. Because if, I'm going to use her as this example, then is he telling her that he doesn't trust her? She's a lot like his ex. Right? What is that? I don't know what that means. Anyway, so yeah. So why would he say that? And then it's like, and then I say, okay, if you get into a car accident, you don't drive anymore? You just hire somebody to drive you around, or you just don't go anywhere? That's an excuse. Because I'm going to tell you, don't wait. Don't wait. It's great to be able to talk to each other, but you got to seal the deal. You guys know what I mean by that. You got to seal the deal. Because for true love, when you are truly soul connected, if anybody's read the Celestine prophecies, it's that. That's the honest to God's truth. It's like you become one. Your souls together during romantic times. I don't know what I can say on YouTube, but you become one. And it's a feeling. They say that that's the highest feeling that you can get to God, because your souls are united. Because, we always talk about we're all connected. At that point, you truly are connected. That's true love. And that's the kind of mate everybody wants. But, you can't keep waiting either. Because as you guys see, we get older. We get older. You don't get stuck at the, 30, 35 years old and think, okay, well, yeah, you take some time and think about it. 10 years later, you're 45. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And it's not only that. If somebody is so afraid to date you, let's say, why? Then that's a problem they have. That's a problem they have. That's not your problem. So let me tell you what happens, though. What I do tell people this in my readings. I do tell them, if I see somebody, like in this situation too, I felt that this gentleman would have been a good match. But I also saw somebody else coming in. And now I see why, because I wasn't privy to what would actually be happening, a year later, a couple years later, because he is not going to seal the deal. He's making excuses. And sometimes people make excuses because they're scared of many things. Or sometimes, going to go back to my original comparison, sometimes they don't want to do it because they're not over their ex. So you don't deserve that. Nobody deserves that. That's what I'm saying. When they are so banging heads, there's a very fine line between love and hate. But when you have two people, they are good friends, they co-parent well, the four of you go out together, all of you and the family and the kids all go out together. That's a great relationship. That's a great relationship. But no, if somebody is not willing, don't wait. Don't wait. And I never thought that I would say that, don't wait for something or someone. But I am saying that now because it is true. You get older and there's things you can't do that you could do when you were 30. And your likes change or your interests change, whatever. Things change. Life changes. So why not be happy? That's the thing too. You guys, once the kids are grown and gone, because the kids, I'm the kind of mother, I believe that I raised my children to be independent, to fly on their own. Again, though, remember, I didn't have parents growing up, so it's not like I could mimic that. But I just wanted them all to be independent, happy. Of course, happy. But to feel like, to fulfill their soul purposes as why they're here. So as a single mom now, I don't even say I'm single. I just say I'm single. That's what I always just say. My kids are having their lives and they're happy. And we all, of course we talk. Of course we do. But I don't know. I don't want to know some stuff. Because I don't know. A lot of parents I know and kids become friends. But I still feel like mom. You know what I mean? I still feel like mom, and there's just some things I don't want to know. But of course, I'm always here for it. Always here for it. But anyway, the whole point of that is when you get to the point where your kids are grown and out of the house, that's a time for you. Because what happens, trust me when I'm telling you this, you change. Your spirituality evolves. And there's things now when you're older that you don't tolerate, that you tolerated when you were younger. No. And you have more fun. And you take chances on things, But anyway, to the young lady, I just feel like there is somebody new coming in. Because I kind of saw her like she's kind of in the room. So I feel like, yeah, I definitely feel that there is somebody. And then this is what happens. Okay, so the new guy comes in, and then the other one who is taking forever decides, well, maybe I should. Yeah, I think you should. You snooze baby cakes, you lose. Not to be cold, but it's kind of the truth. So, and then I do want to say this too, for those of you that are married, like if you have a mate and you're not happy, do things that make you happy. Like when you go out to dinner and stuff, don't talk about the kids and problems. And this is for everybody with your mates. Don't talk about problems. Go out and have fun. Go out, laugh, have fun. Remember how you felt, especially with the kids out of the house. Remember how you felt when you were like 20 and you could just have so much fun? I mean, in that case, I had to have babysitters, but still it was fun to get out and like, woo. So yeah, you can go back to that when the kids are grown. But like, unless there's abuse, of course, with abuse, marriage counseling is always available and it's always good. But don't leave because you're bored. So, but anyway, you guys. And yeah, I know that was like the biggest thing is, oh my gosh, is no, like Jeannie did. I know. I'm excited for this young lady too. I'm excited because I feel like you are, you went through so much stuff with your ex, so much. And that situation is a little touchy. And it's a lot touchy. And you have kids, which makes it harder, of course. But it's harder too when that person doesn't want it to end. Here's the other thing. Here's the little, I said this the other day to a friend of mine. I call it the suitcase theory. If you're having issues in your relationship and they're just like they're regular issues, I mean, maybe it's financial, but you're supposed to be friends. That's the thing too. Remember, with your mate, you're supposed to be friends. Your mate's supposed to be your best friend. I love that because my daughter and her husband, I love them as a couple. I love, love, love them as a couple. They are best friends. And so I know if I talk to her about anything, I know it's going to him too. Because you never ask somebody to hold something back from their husband and they're close, they're best friends. But that's the way it should be. I actually have heard several times where people say, oh, no, I don't want to, because I will say, oh, I see there's a woman in your life and she's really great. And I'm thinking of this one reading in particular. He goes, oh yeah, we have the best time when we're together. I go, but yet you don't want to take her out? No, because I don't want to ruin the friendship. Why? Why would you? And a lot of times you guys, for the people that that the two of you are attractive, but nobody's saying it, say something. Say something. Don't say nothing. Don't let life pass you by. Don't ever let life pass you by. But okay, the suitcase theory, very, very quick. With your mate, if you, like, let's say if your mate is, it's like Jeannie. Okay, I'm going to use Jeannie. Okay, Jeannie would say to her husband, would talk to him about things, but she still wasn't ready to leave. She wasn't ready to leave. She was hoping there was something they could do. And then they did start to go like on date nights, once a week, whatever. So she wasn't over it yet. I mean, there was a lot of resentment, everything, because a lot happened. But then towards the end, her suitcase was by the door. When she said goodbye, when she said that's it, her suitcase was packed and by the door. Here's the bad thing about that, you guys. When someone's suitcase is packed, and this is just a figure of speech, packed and by the door, that means there's no way you're going to get that person to come back to you. There's no way. They're packed. They are literally, everything is packed up and they are ready to move on. And it's very hard then if you have that situation, but you're married, you know, there's still ways to fix that. There's always ways to fix things, but everybody has to be on the same page. Communication is key. You must talk to each other. You're right. Yes, Arnie, 1,000% accurate, 1,000%. Arnie wrote, the person you fall in love with is not the same person 10 years later. So true. So true. So true. And that saddens me. That really saddens me. And I kind of found that in my situations, because you date somebody and, you know, I don't know, people change. Here's lots of things. You'll have like a lot of women will get, and it's not, I'm not saying that just falls on women, but a lot of women too, they will get, after having the babies, you know, the depression. And it's like, if you don't feel good, and the men, there's a lot of men too, intuition, people like us are so prone to anxiety. We are so prone to it. So what you do is, if you know you got a problem, address it with your physician, you know? And I'll tell you, even with readings with me, if I see something, I tell you immediately. Okay, I tell you immediately, because, you know, I'm not a physician, but I am a nurse and I can see inside the body. So I will tell you. And why not? If you can go to the doctor and get placed on a medication, you don't have to be on that for the rest of your life. But when you know you're not laughing anymore, and you know you feel like all your days are dark, please reach out to someone. But, and Arnie, that can also work another way too. It can work, maybe two people have taken each other for granted, because that happens a lot too. You know, they figure that, well, I mean, because there's a lot of men that don't want their wives to work because they feel like, well, then they're not going to go anywhere. And that's not the reason to have your wife, you know, not work. But because I know, like Karen, for instance, excellent mom. And Karen took care of everybody. I mean, of course, her kids, but she was the one that, you know, Roddy kind of managed the outside affairs, so to speak, and she handled everything in the house. But then they came together. They were both working towards the same goals. That's huge. And yes, you guys, everybody has problems. Everybody gets into an argument. The problem is, though, we all think we're right. And it's like, no, sometimes you're not right. So listen to what somebody is saying to you. Like, don't listen with the response, no, that's not even called listening. Judge Judy always says, put on your listening ears. The listening ears are those ears you put on and you listen. When that person is speaking to you, you're not thinking of a response. You're listening. You're trying to break down what they are trying to say to you. Because come on, you guys. Oh my gosh, that's where they came in with that game of telephone. You know, people don't listen. They listen halfway, take what they want or their understanding of something. And most of the time, it's so wrong. I've seen couples like split up because other people were like digging in their relationship and trying, because some people don't want to see happy. I don't understand it. But when you have people like that, surround them with white light of the Holy Spirit. Don't argue. That's the biggest thing too. Don't argue. Enjoy. So we are all new people anyway. And they're saying that this is going to be the year for the empaths. Because again, we are all intuitive and we get anxiety. Some people get very bad depression. But don't make decisions on it. Like, don't make decisions. If you wake up and you're like, oh, I feel horrible today. Okay, you can either call someone, or if you don't want to talk to somebody, turn a movie on, watch YouTube. YouTube is very entertaining and you learn a lot of stuff. You really learn a lot, but don't let the darkness overtake you. Watch a funny thing and laugh. Enjoy yourself. Stop worrying about stuff. Okay? It's so important that you take care of you and that you're happy. That's huge. And again, you're intuitive, you will get anxiety. Oh, and then this new thing. I never heard of the crystals in the ears. That's just lovely. I thought Jeannie was making it up. I'll do this and then I should let you guys go. Yeah. So apparently, I'm just going to say it in English instead of using the medical terms for it. But so we have crystals in our ear canals, right? And they stay in fluid. But when they come out of the fluid and they're out a little bit, there's exercises you have to do to put them back in. But you guys, it's horrible. Jeannie had it. Jeannie's the one, because my whole life, does anybody ever hear of that? My whole life, I'd never heard of that. Never heard of it until this stage in my life. But it's like, oh my gosh, Jeannie had it and she was hit with it so bad. Like she couldn't even stand up. She couldn't even walk, or she was walking like with a walker because she was so dizzy. You guys, it makes you very dizzy. The vertigo is horrible. I take the meclizine, that's in Dramamine. I take, that does help. Just a little thing. But you'll get like nauseous. It's horrible. Shaky. Yeah, the tremors, yeah. So that's very odd, and it's very common for those of us. It's the low barometric pressure. And apparently it's very bad on this side of town, on this side of the world, the East Coast. Believe it or not, they say you're not going to get it in California because they don't have so many storms and everything like we do. So anyway, so you guys, thank you for joining me this evening. I love you all. And I want to see you guys find love. So I'm going to actually do a reading for everybody on Valentine's Day. The focus will be about love. It's okay, It's okay to be alone too. I'm not pushing anybody into no. Because I think too, when we get older, we also like our privacy, or as they say in England, our privacy. But it's nice to get together, go with friends, have dinner, whatever. That's nice too. Just enjoy your life. Live your life. And remember, if somebody's kind of pulling you back and forth, no. Just always remember, for girls, you're not the mom. Yeah, you're not mom. So I love you guys. Sending to you all many, many angel hugs and blessings. And thank you again for joining me tonight. Take care.